Well, hello, and welcome to the American Farmsteaders podcast. This is Jenny with the Gramstead Family Farm.
And this is Donna at Hazelbell Farm.
And we are coming to you today to give y'all a quick little update on what's been going on our farms, but we're also mainly going to talk about garden maintenance because that is what we are both swamped with right now.
Yeah, swamped with. That's true. Yeah, maintenance, just keeping up with the regular scheduling that is required to stay on top of things.
Yes, absolutely. But before we get into that, I want to let y'all know that both of our farms are on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. So if you would, please check us out there. It is Hazelbell Farm and the Gramstead Family Farm.
Yeah. I'm Donna at Hazelbell Farm.
Donna at Hazelbell
Not
Farm.
all my people want to be a part all the time. Sometimes they do, and sometimes they're like, no, that's your thing.
Right.
So
I hear you on that.
Yeah.
So yeah, check us out there. We've got a lot of videos and content up if you want to learn a little bit more. You can also email us. We would love to hear from you. If you consider yourself a farmstead-her, we would love to hear more about what you got going on your farm. So that email address is AmericanFarmSteadHers with an H at gmail.com.
Yeah, and even if you don't think that you qualify as a farmstead-her because you don't have a great big farm, and you have questions or topic ideas or whatever, send us a note and we'll be able to open that up.
Yes, topic ideas would be amazing. So, what's been going on your farm this week? What y'all been up to?
Oh, well, so as the farmstead-her that I am the crux of keeping things together, the glue of the farm.
Yes.
And I've been working outside of the home for about the last week, and which is, makes me really appreciate all of those women who do that on the regular basis. And I know you probably have like routines and ways to keep from pulling all of your hair out,
right?
To keep your life together. But this is the first day that I did not go report to the office, and it sounds like I'm making a big deal out of it as I'm saying it out loud, but oh my gosh, I don't have those routines in place.
Yeah.
And so things like dinner, or hosing out the stall where the lambs sleep, those things are just not happening. They were not happening. So I'm playing catch up. And I think I told you I'm just going to live in the dirt for like a week.
Yes.
I don't know. I might sleep a few days and then live in the dirt for a week. But catching up.
It's hard to be away from the home and from the farm when you're not used to it. But when you finally do make it back, you're like, oh.
Yeah.
So glad to be home.
Yeah, I was able to do like a quick walk through the garden in the mornings, like with my coffee,
right
before I had to hit short, like the first light kind of moment where I wasn't really doing a whole lot, but to see like, oh, that bed is going to need to be weeded pretty soon with the rain we've gotten, or oh, my peanuts are coming up, which I'm super excited about.
That is so exciting.
Yeah, it'll be.
Are you going to have to trellis those?
No, they're like a bush.
Sweet.
Yeah. I'm just totally stoked about those. So two of our dairy girls, we got set up this last weekend for artificial insemination. So
Perfect.
it's to synchronize their heat cycles.
Okay.
To come in when we want them to come in. And so they got a shot, which is just a hormone injection that helps them release their own hormones. It doesn't mess with meat or milk or anything like that.
Right.
And then they got like this device inserted vaginally that I kind of have to keep an eye on. One of them, she keeps like trying to push it out, so that's my big farmsteader thing going on right now. Like,
please don't do that.
I didn't know like I was gonna have to do that. So my vet tech skills have been put to test lately. Glad I've got gloves. Like the importance of having those things ready has really been brought to light. So anyways, that's super exciting. So in about 2 weeks, we'll be able to have them AI'd.
Nice.
And so hopefully they'll come in at the same time, and the tech can come out and pay one fee for him coming to us.
One trip fee.
Yeah, one trip fee. But it's very likely that one will come in 48 hours after the last shot, and one will be like 60 hours, or
Right.
That would be my luck. But if that's what happens, that's what happens. And then so we're hoping that we will have babies. What is it now? April. I think it puts us in for January babies.
Nice.
February. March. Yeah, it would put us for February babies.
Okay.
So our only cold month.
Which in Florida, I mean, it'll be fine. It's not like we're up north.
No, I mean, we won't have snow and ice.
Right.
So I'm not too concerned if you're somewhere cold. And I know like a lot of people have a calving season. That doesn't really suit our farm. We like to stagger our calves anyways, as far as having somebody in milk, since we have more than one milk cow now, and then raising beef. We don't want all the beef ready at the same time.
No, we don't want things happening all at the same time. That makes for a stressful life, which is actually my life this month.
Is it everything at the same time?
Everything at the same time. Normally, when we send things out to the processor, it's okay, we have a couple cows we're going to send. And then maybe a few months later, the pigs are ready. And then in the spring and early summer, it's chicken processing season. And, so it's never at the same time. Well, this year we're doing butcher boxes to sell to people in the community. And the butcher boxes will have beef, pork, and chicken. And which means I have to have them ready all at the same time.
We're doing the same thing, and my head hasn't wrapped around the logistics yet completely. I think you're further than I am on that.
I'm just winging it.
You're just winging it. I'm just winging it, but again, I'm behind you.
I mean, I'm winging it loosely. I mean, I do have a loose schedule, of course, because you got to work around processing dates.
Right.
So we took 2 cows in this past Monday, one of which was my favorite cow that we've had since he was little, but he was ready to go, and he's been a great cow, and we're going to be getting his hide back. So I'm super, super excited.
That's neat.
To work on that.
Yeah.
So those 2 guys are gone, and this week, it's all about trying to load pigs into the trailer, trying to get them used to the trailer, which these 2 particular pigs we tried to load up several months ago and could never get them to go in. So we've got a different trailer, a different ramp set up, and we are just feeding them in the trailer until Monday, which is the day that they go. So pray.
That'll be less stress for them.
Yes, less stress for them because they basically have a whole week to decide that they want to go into the trailer and eat their breakfast. So, so far we're on day 2 and they have not gone in the trailer.
How's that going for you, Jenny?
It's not going well. So, but
that's not true. It's new. It's too new to decide.
We're only on day 2, being hopeful that they get into the trailer because if they don't, we're going to have to go to plan B. So after the pigs, we have about 45, maybe 46 chickens that we'll process here on site for the butcher boxes. By the time we process the chickens, it'll be time to pick up the beef and the pork.
It is all at the same time.
It is literally all at the same time.
Wow.
So hopefully everything comes in when it's supposed to. Hopefully we get back what we anticipate getting back. And we can get the boxes packed up and sent out to, this meat is going to multiple different families.
Cool.
So that's super exciting.
Yeah.
That we're able to help provide food to so many different families.
Yeah.
So
that's awesome.
Super cool.
That is cool.
Yep. So that's my life. Other than garden maintenance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Garden maintenance. Let's talk about that. We can get onto that. Garden maintenance is like, so here where we are in Northeast Florida, gardening happens like year round pretty much. I mean, we have seasons where it's crazier and seasons where it's not. But we're always growing something for the most part.
Pretty much.
Yeah. Even if we're covering it for the little bit of cold that we get or the blazing sun that we get, we're able to grow something year round. But in this season right now, it's our crazy busy season.
It is.
It's early April, and we have plant starts in the ground. We're still putting seeds in the ground. We're succession sowing. It's been raining more than we normally get for this time of year.
More than normal. And my peppers that are in the garden right now don't appreciate it.
My basil is not looking real happy. They just look a little wilty.
Yeah.
I hope I didn't spot a little tiny bacterial wilt on one already, because it's April.
Right.
How can that be?
Right. Well, and that's what we've been struggling with. So I've really had to stay on top of spraying, because I have those like 18 or so tomato plants that have early blight, but they look so much better.
Oh, good.
They've been sprayed twice now with Fertilome Triple Action. And that really seems to be helping a lot. I also side dressed them with compost and sprayed them with Epsom salts.
So that boosted
Yes. Yeah.
So little immune systems.
Yes, they look much better. So I think we're on the right track with that.
Good.
Yeah.
So we're talking specifics a little bit today about like what we do in those circumstances. So like Jenny's talking about her tomatoes with early blight.
Yep.
One of the things that you can do for that, and I didn't think about this when you told me last week, but you can crush an aspirin, like a regular low-dose aspirin.
Okay.
And oh my goodness, I said we're coming with specifics. We're gonna be ready. Not. Okay, I want to say it was like 2 aspirins to a gallon of water, a drop of soap, and that really just, I think, emulsifies.
Yeah.
A little bit of oil helps the soap keeps the oil and water from separating. The oil helps it stick to the plant, but the aspirin, the salicylic acid in the aspirin helps the tomato plant. So it mimics whatever it is in the plant to help it fight off the blight.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
I think I've heard of this aspirin thing before.
Yeah.
But
yeah, I've done that. I've done diluted peroxide.
oh.
Sometimes it's like, I'm going to lose all my tomatoes or I'm going to throw everything at them. And
Right.
so it's like, I'll do the aspirin one day. I'll do the peroxide 2 days later. I'll fertilize them in a couple of days to help boost them. And,
Yes.
and I don't ever know like what it is that worked for that condition, but having like a culmination of knowledge of these things to try has been helpful.
Yeah. Yeah, and sometimes you do feel like you want to throw everything at them because you know that there's so many tomatoes that are possible there.
Yeah, I will look up that exact recipe.
Okay.
and I'll come back with that, or we'll post it somewhere. You know what? I'll post it on our Facebook page, on the American Farmsteaders Facebook page.
Yeah.
So give me a little time to get that done, but in a day or so, I should be able to post it up there.
Yeah, cool. That would be helpful.
Because I know I have it written down in one of my journals.
Well, and it's also nice to know of different things that you can do that you might have on hand, like peroxide or aspirin, or, if you don't have to go run to the big box store to buy something, or make the lovely Amazon people deliver it.
Well, I can't promise they're not going to come to my house anyways, but but yes, you're right.
So I last night ran across a Chinese proverb that says that the best fertilizer is the gardener's shadow. And I've also heard it put a different way, that
Me too.
the garden's best friend is the gardener's shadow.
Yeah.
I think there's different variations of it, but I thought that was super fitting, being that we're talking about maintenance, because really, if you want a nice productive garden, if you're just simply in your garden, you're in there to notice things and to find things that need to be done, and to really just tend to it, because that's ultimately what it takes.
Yeah. I like to say that you want to be a gardener, well then you need to be in the garden.
You need to be in the garden. That's right.
I have so many friends and family, people who ask or think that, oh, God, it must be so nice to have such a green thumb. And I'm looking at my thumbs going,
Right.
They're not green thumbs. No. I mean, I kill stuff. I lose stuff.
Absolutely.
Sometimes it's just my sheer neglect, honestly, if we're being truthful. But, if I want to be a gardener, I have to be in the garden. And so some of that means being consistent. Some of that means prioritizing my time.
Yes. Making the time. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, because there's nothing. I'm not going to be aggravating here. I'm not going to be aggravated. Jenny and I were talking before we started recording, and I said, it's so aggravating to me to hear, and this comes from my lips also, that I don't have the time. That's aggravating. I don't have the time. I don't want to hear myself say it. I don't want to hear my kids say it. And I don't want to hear my friends say it when they say things like, it must be so nice to have the time to spend in the garden.
Right.
I don't want to hear that because I prioritize my time to be in the garden.
Right. We've made a choice,
right.
To have a garden as big as we do. And it just comes down to setting aside time. I know that every single morning after I feed all my animals, I'm going straight to the garden. Mm-hmm. And that's what I'm going to do every single day during the busy season when I need to be out there.
Right. So you've made it part of your routine.
It is part of my routine for sure. It's like brushing my teeth.
Right. right.
I'm going to do it every single day.
Yeah.
And sometimes even twice a day.
Yeah.
Because the reality of it is, especially here in Florida, where it's already pretty hot. Mm-hmm. It's not that dry, though. We've had above average rain, I would say.
Yeah, and it was particularly muggy this morning.
It was really muggy. It was really muggy last night after the sun went down. It was super muggy. It was weird. Yeah. But all right, I lost my train of thought there.
Well, making a routine.
Making a routine. If I know that I've just put, this morning, for instance, I just put in 2 rows of black beans. Mm-hmm. I watered them after I put them in, but I know now that I've sown those seeds that I might need to go out there twice a day to water those.
Right.
So that's going to be in the evening as the golden hour. That's a beautiful time to be in the garden.
It's my favorite. It is my favorite to be anywhere outside on my farm.
Yes. Yeah. Yes, that is a wonderful time to be out there. So, just know and make that a priority. If you're trying to grow something, set aside a certain time every day where you know that you can be out there.
And I'm not saying so prioritize the garden over your job. I mean,
right.
Obviously that would be silly. But you do have time at home of your own free time. You do have a little time in the morning or a little time in the evening, or maybe you don't. I don't know. I'm not going to pretend to be in everybody's shoes. Maybe you have twice a week where you can Thursday night and Sunday sometime. Right. Well, that means you're going to need to put more hours in on those days.
Yeah.
If you can't do it every day.
Yeah, absolutely. And then maybe put a system in place where your plants are still going to get water every single day, but it not require a bunch of time from yourself. So drip irrigation or sprinklers.
Right. You can use an automated timer, that kind of thing. I've done that where there's all kinds of different kinds you can get, but there's a very cheap one that I've used. I think the last one we had broke, but we had it for years.
Yeah.
Where you have to turn it on.
Right.
And then it kind of ticks down so you set it for 15 minutes, 30 minutes, whatever.
Right. And
so I'd set it for an hour. It would water the garden for an hour. And when it was done, it was done.
Yeah.
I didn't have to be there to go out there and remember to turn it off. That was the problem I had.
Yeah.
Leaving the sprinkler on.
I am the worst about leaving hoses and water running.
Yeah.
It's so bad.
Yeah.
I feel awful when I do it too, because when I do it for 12 hours.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. But you could get the kind that you program the time in, and it comes on for 20 minutes in the morning between these times and 20 minutes in the evening between these times.
Yes.
And you're good.
Yeah. So stuff like that I think is really great for, when you're super busy and you don't have, the 20 or 30 minutes to really go out there and walk the garden and do it yourself. But I don't think it should be used as a substitute for this is how it's going to be done every day.
Right.
Because, it just comes down to when you're in the garden, you're just going to be able to tend to it. You're going to see stuff that needs to be done.
Right. You're going to see the bugs that need to be picked off.
Exactly. Before they get out of control.
Yeah.
So, I would encourage everybody to at least try to find 2 or 3 days a week where you can really spend a good amount of time out there.
I agree.
Yeah.
So I wanted to kind of touch on, there's different ways you can do that. Do you remember years ago, and Jenny and I are both ex-homeschool moms, and there was that Fly Lady who kind of like swept through the homeschool community. Do you remember Fly Lady? And so like Fly Lady, like you'd put your email address in and it was all free, and she'd email you every day or every week or whatever with these like, these are the tasks you're going to do today to be a good keeper of your home, right? Do you remember that?
Yes,
and it would be like, wash your front door. The things that you never think of. But she would have like daily tasks, like wipe down your sink, put on your shoes, get in the right mental space of keeping your home.
Right.
Wipe down your sink every day. Scrub the toilet every day, whatever it was. And then she had like weekly tasks and monthly tasks and quarterly tasks. So you can kind of like plug that into your garden where you have a day to fertilize.
Yes.
A day to side dress with compost. This is the day I know I need to add dirt to my potato plants.
Right.
Once a week.
Yeah.
This is the day I need to go through and really look for disease or insects or weeds. Right. A weeding day. Whatever.
A weeding day. Yes.
Yeah. So you can break that up that way where you have like one thing a day. If you don't have the time for that, then I like the idea of breaking my garden up into zones where I work on all of those things for just a section of the garden. We work on all of those things for just a section at a time.
Right.
So like I'm going to work on this quarter of the garden on Monday and the next quarter on Tuesday, and maybe Wednesday I'm too busy because I have to run to the feed mill.
Right.
Thursday I'm going to work on the next quarter, and Friday and so on. And then on the weekend I'm a little bit freer to really tackle a bigger project when my husband's home to help me or my kids are home to help me, or just something that takes more time kind of thing. And so that works for me.
Yeah, that's a good idea. So I've never thought about breaking it into zones like that.
Yeah, I mean, and I still walk through the whole garden.
Yeah.
Where I see that, okay, this needs to be taken care of right. Like, what's urgent right now? Am I about to lose all my tomatoes to early blight? I've got to get that stopped.
Right.
Right.
Priority.
So, yeah, that's the top priority. And then work on the other zone where I'm going to pull weeds. I'm going to assess fertilizer needs. I'm going to do all the things in that zone.
Which maybe I do kind of do that because I for years I ran drip irrigation in my garden.
Right.
And that worked really well for a really long time, but I switched back to hand watering because I realized that it kept me in the garden more.
Yeah.
And I would notice more things going on. But now when I'm hand watering, I'm able to assess all of those different things while I'm hand watering. So it's kind of like multitasking, I'm hand watering my tomatoes and I'm going, oh, they could use a little compost, or oh, they need to be sprayed for blight. Or even if it's not that, I guarantee you, while you're hand watering, you'll find a weed that you can pull.
There's always stuff to do.
There's always stuff to do. So, I think that's the biggest thing. You just got to be out there.
I agree. You just have to be out there. And that's why I think, when I said it aggravates me when people say, it must be nice to have a green thumb. Well, people put these beautiful gardens in, and then they don't look at them again. Until next weekend. Well, by next weekend, squash bugs have taken out all their squash.
Yes.
Or mildew, or bacterial wilt, or something.
Yeah.
So, I think just being there, I agree, is the most important thing.
Yeah. So let's see here. So weeding. One of my favorite garden tools, and it's used for weeding, is called a scuffle hoe or a stirrup hoe.
I've heard it called something else too.
It is, yeah. There is a different name somewhere. I don't remember.
I can't remember what it was, but it's also my favorite.
Yes, and so basically, it looks like a horse stirrup, a metal horse stirrup, on a long handle, and you're able to just kind of glide the bottom of that stirrup just under your soil, and it'll just take out any small weeds. It'll cut them right off at the root, and you can do a whole lot of weeding with a scuffle hoe versus hand pulling
in just
stuff.
a little bit of time.
In just a little bit of time. I mean, you can really zip through your garden.
If you're staying on top of it.
If you're staying on top of it, it's good. It's only good for small weeds. It's not going to do weeds that you have just let go crazy.
Right.
Those you're going to have to get down on your hands and knees and pull those.
Although I'll say this, I had Eric sharpen one for me because I had two. I might have three. I have two now that I can just keep out there at the garden at opposite ends of the garden.
Nice.
Yeah. And he sharpened my older one.
Okay.
And it's been taking out crabgrass. It's been taking out a lot of stuff.
I might need to sharpen mine.
Yeah.
I've never sharpened it.
Yeah, I never had either.
And I've had it for a long time.
Hey, is this possible? Can we sharpen this? And he's like, I got you.
Right. Sweet.
Sweet, yeah.
So, and another thing to keep in mind too, if you're going to be using a tool like the scuffle hoe, when you're putting your plants in, seeding your carrots especially, you want to make sure that your scuffle hoe is going to fit in between your rows of carrots.
Yeah. I have that habit of having to, okay, so I don't plant carrots in rows. I told you that. I just pretty much throw the seeds out. Whatever happens.
I only do it for my scuffle hoe.
Yeah. So do you ever have to turn it to get that angle?
Yeah.
And yeah, it doesn't really work. But I try.
So those are excellent for weeding, but like Donna said, only if you're really staying on top of stuff.
Yeah.
It keeps your garden super clean in very little time. So other things you can do for weeding that we've done in the past, we've used torches.
Oh yeah.
That will take care of some stuff pretty quickly too, but you just got to be careful not to burn your other plants.
Right.
My poor neighbor, she took out a bunch of bushes when she was torch weeding.
No.
Yes.
Oh no. That's horrible.
Yeah, it was bad, and they have not come back yet, so.
I like to use, if I do have a place that has gotten overgrown, or grass or dollarweed is my nemesis, I like to use that 3-fork hand tool.
Yeah.
Where it looks like a weapon almost.
Yeah.
But that really gets really gets in there and breaks up the ground to be able to get those roots out.
Right. It really probably grabs right behind the root.
Yeah, and do that when the soil is wet or moist.
You do that when it's wet.
I do.
Okay. Now I have found when you're using the scuffle hoe, if you do that when it's wet and you don't actually remove the weeds, a lot of those will reroot.
Yeah.
So if you do the scuffle hoe when it's really hot and really dry out,
right,
in the middle
overhead
of the day,
sun, yeah, yeah,
which is awful in Florida, but those weeds actually die.
They just die, yeah. So you just leave them on the surface and with the root and all, and they shrivel up and die. Yeah.
Now another thing, and this really isn't a maintenance thing for weeding; it's a how to get started if you have a bunch of weeds or if you have a bunch of grass. Tarps. Tarps are my best friend in the garden. I mean, anytime I get a bed that just gets overrun with weeds or grass, or it's a new area, pull all your plants out of there and just cover it with a tarp for a good 4 or 6 weeks. You uncover it and it's brand new.
Right. Right.
And at that point, you're just pulling out the big dead ones,
right,
which come out super easy. So tarps are a great way to get started.
Yeah.
So if you think that you want to get a garden started, go ahead and just try to pick out a good location and throw a tarp down and just don't even think about it for 4 more weeks.
Yeah, just put some weights on it, some bricks or rocks or sandbags or whatever you want, and leave it be.
Yep, and then that kind of gives you enough time to kind of get mentally prepared on what the next step is going to be.
Yeah.
But in the meantime, you're actually doing something to get started.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, my favorite is cardboard. I've become the cardboard collecting queen.
Yeah.
And so I like to use cardboard to mulch. It does have to be reapplied. Weeds, nature takes over.
Right.
They're going to come back.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's a good way you can just put that right on top of grass and then compost. I think we've mentioned that before.
Yeah, well, and then, the way that my brain works is if I did something like that in my yard and put out a big old tarp to make a new garden area, in 4 to 6 weeks when I uncover it and I have a big dead spot in the middle of my yard, I'm going to have to do something with it.
Right.
You know, so if you do that, it kind of forces you on to the next step.
Yep, that's right. It does. It does. And you can even like put down your compost right on top of those weeds and then cover that over so that it breaks down further. It helps better prepare the bed so that when you pull that tarp off, you've got nothing but compost.
Yeah, I mean, it's a really great way to get started. You know, it's a lot less work.
It is a lot less work. It just takes a little more time and forethought.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Yep. So bugs.
Okay, bugs.
Bugs. What kind of bugs are in your garden? What do you find most of?
Okay, so right now I don't have a lot of pesky pest bugs. I mean, I think I mentioned I'd seen some aphids.
Right.
But it hasn't become a problem. I also saw ladybugs at the same time, so I guess they were taking care of that. And I'm a firm believer in treating the garden as its own little ecosystem, you know, and letting life thrive no matter what the life is, for the most part.
Right.
I let the spiders live, even though I had a heart attack today. I had a monster spider. I don't even know where it went. So it's alive somewhere, but it was flipping huge. It was like the biggest spider I've ever seen in my life. And it scared me and I scared it, and we both scurried off in our opposite directions. But you know what? That spider's not going to eat anything that I don't want it to eat in my garden. It's not vegetarian.
Right.
But it's going to take care of whatever else might be in there.
Right. He's there for a reason.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know,
even ants, that's the number one question I get about, like, how do I get rid of, because we have fire ants here.
Right.
And I just kind of leave them alone.
I do the exact same thing. You know, if I have a fire ant bed pop up in the garden, I've got one in one of my raised beds right now.
Yeah.
And it has kale literally growing out of the fire ant bed.
I think they aerate the soil.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The kale looks beautiful.
Right.
It's not suffering at all from the fire ants.
Yeah.
And they've been there for a while. But I agree. I really think they do something to the soil. They're there for a reason.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm okay with it as long as, you know, we don't have like ant allergies happening. I don't have small children helping me in the garden or anything like that.
Right. And as long as they're not taking over like the whole garden. Right.
But here's the thing, like, our blackberries are in full bloom right now. They're beautiful. In the morning, the dew on the little white flowers, and there's so many of them. It's just gorgeous. Nice. And when I look up close at like these little flowers, and they're in all different stages of like all the way up to, I have green berries now, from like flowers just getting ready to open, you know, and all of the in betweens, and that there's ants all in those flowers, so they're pollinating the plants.
Yes, they are.
I have had them become a problem on like some pear trees, for example, where they actually did tear up the flowers. And I have had a problem with them in my noodle beans in the past. Mm-hmm. But what I learned was those were ants that I had aphids on the plants, and the ants were actually farming the aphids.
Okay.
And so that's a whole little science experiment that you can kind of let go and watch and learn, and it's kind of neat. But it may damage your plants to let it go at that point. But for the most part, I just let them be. I really, like I said, I really don't have too much in the way of pests right now.
Yeah.
I am looking forward, though, to pickle worms.
Pickle worms. My nemesis.
Yeah, tomato worms or tobacco worms, or the tomato hornworm.
Yeah.
All of those, the squash bugs are another of the nemesis.
That's our main issue. The squash bugs and the darn pickle worms.
And I'm sure there must be a purpose for them.
I know, but I
have to believe that, but I don't know what it is. And they are eating my plants, so they are not allowed to stay living there.
Right. And so, you know, I don't like to spray stuff if I don't really have to, but I'm almost kind of feeling like I want to do a preventative spray for pickle worms specifically.
Yeah, well, we talked about this last week, was it, with the BT and the injection. I'm totally doing it this year.
Yeah.
Totally.
Right, injecting the BT into the stem
Yeah.
of like the squash plant where like the vine borer would live.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So BT is a product that both of us use. I use the Safer brand, and actually Safer has a lot of good products.
Yeah, they
I've
do.
used several different things from them. So we'll put a link in the description to the BT, and I know that I've mentioned the Fertilome Triple Action.
Is that an antifungal? Is
The
it
triple action, and I'm only using that to treat my blight because it's what I had, and I
Right.
didn't want to have to buy anything else.
Right.
The triple action is an insecticide, a fungicide, and it starts with an M.
I don't know.
Miticide, I want to say.
Oh,
but
for mites.
I don't know if
Okay.
that's the correct word.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think you're right.
Ideally, I really would have wanted to use just the fungicide on the blight, but it's what I had. It was a brand new bottle. It wasn't even opened, and I really just couldn't justify going out and buying something else
Right.
when I had that. So, but I don't really like to spray, the insecticide part of it because I don't really want to be killing any good bugs.
Right.
Because good bugs, just like the ants, they're often there for a reason.
Yeah. Yeah, you can't freak out about the honeybees in your flowers, or
No.
I think most people who are getting into gardening, acknowledge that, and even if they're like, oh, I'm training myself to not freak out when a bee comes around, like the bees don't care about you. They're not there to see you. They're there for the flowers.
Yeah.
But a wasp is a different story. People see a wasp fly by their head and they panic.
Right, which, I mean...
But the wasps are allowed to live in my garden too.
Absolutely, because there's the parasitic wasp,
Yeah.
which actually lays their eggs, I think, on the tomato hornworms.
Yes.
And then that hornworm won't live and reproduce.
Right, it's like a host for the wasp. Yeah.
Right, yeah. So we don't need to kill any of those things, and a lot of those things show up in our garden because there's a food source.
Even those nasty like mahogany wasps, like their sting hurts. It hurts really badly. And there are certain places I won't let them build nests around my garden. Like I've got those raised bed boxes with the lumber frame across the top. And I had a nest underneath
They like
one
to
of
go
those,
under those.
and I didn't know. And I'm walking by, just walking by and pulling weeds or watering or whatever I was doing, and it really ticked them off. and I got nailed right on the top of my foot because that was the closest thing. And man, my whole leg was on fire. It was horrible. But those guys, they eat all of those caterpillar type things in the garden. So. They're allowed to be nearby. They're not allowed to build nests under my boxes, though.
Yeah,
That's the only
for
thing.
sure not.
Birds are another thing. There are a lot of birds that, and for a long time, I would catch birds picking out seeds out of my garden, and I would put my boys on bird patrol with pellet guns. And then I learned that if you, if you put some seeds somewhere else when you're sowing those seeds that they're into, like corn, or like dried bean, like black beans and that kind of thing, they would come after. But if you put some somewhere else, they'll go over there and they'll leave your garden alone.
Yeah, it's like planting a trap crop.
Right.
Exactly.
Exactly.
Every year I kind of end up with an accidental trap crop.
Yeah.
Something that gets like really bad with bugs, and I'm like, you know what? It's
That's
in the middle of
okay.
my garden. It's okay. I'm just going to leave it because the bugs are happy there.
Right. And you're getting fruit from somewhere else.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, that's okay.
Yeah.
It's not a bad thing.
Yeah, I since have learned that. So like put that seed, whatever it is they want, somewhere else. And maybe it's not like my purchase seed. Maybe I'm going to put bird feeders somewhere outside of the garden. But to have water nearby, because if they're coming after your fruits, they're looking for water. And I thought that is a bunch of hocus pocus malarkey.
Right.
Like I've seen them eating my tomatoes, or my plums or whatever. But I did put a bird bath in my garden, and for a long time I was against it because I thought that would encourage them to come in. And it did. It did encourage them to come in, but they didn't come in to eat the fruits. They came in to eat the caterpillars.
Okay.
So, they're allowed to be out, even if they poop on a tomato every now and then. They're allowed to be there now.
Right.
So,
So let's see here. What about neem oil? We haven't really talked
Yeah.
about neem oil. That's a good thing to kind of get in your garden on a regular basis. It's a preventative for pests and fungus, and it's kind of like that triple action thing.
And it's all natural, organic, all of that certified to use in a certified organic garden. So for practicality, what I like to do is fill my 2-gallon sprayer with water. I don't have any exact measurements here.
Right.
A splash of neem oil, a splash of, I use those safer brands. So the BT, I use a spinosad for insects. I might throw some Epsom salt in there.
Right.
A drop of soap. I like to use the Dr. Bronner's soap, the lavender scented one. Lavender is when, I'm sorry, not lavender, peppermint is when that is supposed to keep bugs away. What else might I put in there? I put it all in one sprayer.
Yeah.
Oh, copper fungicide.
Okay.
I might not do all of that if I had like that triple action, because I think that's what that is.
Yeah.
So all of these things that we're talking about come in concentrates. And so I put them in a 2-gallon sprayer and shake it up and spray the whole garden.
Right.
And everybody's happy.
Right. Cover everything. And I think it's important to note here, when you're spraying your garden, especially in Florida, if you have a full sun garden in Florida, you really need to be spraying in the evening. Some of these things will burn your plants out in the sun.
That neem oil, it's oil. So think like if you're putting baby oil on your body and laying out in the sun like a stupid 16-year-old 25 years ago. That
we may or may not have done.
Right, on the roof.
While we sprayed peroxide in our hair.
Yeah, we were stupid. Do you remember Sun In?
Yes, I remember Sun In.
Neem oil acts like that on a plant, and so you want to make sure you do that in the evening. And also like the honeybees are going to be put to bed.
Yes.
Your good pollinators are going to be put to bed.
Right. So in other words, you don't want to, if you spray in the morning, then the honeybees are going to come around after you've sprayed and try to get into those plants, and they're essentially going to get into the neem oil, which can actually hurt them.
Yeah.
So if you spray in the evening, you don't have to worry about that because they're not going to mess with the plants until the next day. So
right.
I think that's super important. So that's something else that you'll need to schedule for an evening.
Yeah.
Once a week, really.
So what are all the things that you schedule into your gardening?
I schedule the weeding, the spraying, and the watering.
Okay.
And then harvest is a completely different.
It is.
Once everything starts to come in, then you really have to almost schedule your harvest too, because if you're
even
leaving,
if it's just 15 minutes a day.
Right, exactly. I mean, because if you're leaving your beans out there too long, they're going to be tough
and gross.
The okra, it's going to get woody.
Right. The tomatoes are going to rot.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's something that you eventually have to put kind of on the books as well.
I hate wasted food.
I know.
And like when that happens, because life happens, so it does happen, the tomatoes all decided to ripen on the 2 days that I could not be there.
Right.
So those kinds of moments I probably could have prevented by going, oh, I'm not going to be there on those 2 days. Maybe, I don't know, emergencies come up, life happens.
Right.
But if you can plan around that during your harvest season, that would be best. But okras, when it's time to pick okra,
it's time.
You're picking them every day.
Don't wait 30 minutes.
You're right.
It's true.
That is no exaggeration at all.
No, it's so true. And so another thing I try to schedule is doing some kind of like foliar spray.
Yeah.
So like a fish emulsion spray, or a compost tea spray, something like that once a week.
So fertilizer, we talked about side dressing.
Yeah.
Shade cloth and trellising are not going to be things that you need to schedule into your every day or even every week. But you kind of need to look at that as a seasonal thing that may be necessary for your garden. Or like insect netting would fall in that same category.
Yeah, absolutely. I try to do insect netting over like my squashes and stuff like that, squash and zucchini. When they're young, I try to keep those covered. Mine are not covered right now. That's why I say try. But my seeds literally like just germinated like a week ago. So I've got a little bit of time. But if you can get just some inexpensive insect netting off of Amazon to throw over your stuff, it'll really help keep all of those vine borers off of your plants.
Yeah, I'll say though, treat the plants first. Treat the bed first, because if you don't, then you're trapping those insects inside the netting, right?
Right. Yeah.
So like that happened to me once, and so just from experience, don't be an idiot. Treat the plants, then cover them.
So yeah, insect netting is super helpful. Shade cloth is really helpful.
Yeah.
I did a lot of that in our winter garden with my broccoli and cabbage, and that was the deal for the broccoli and cabbage in the Florida sun.
Good.
So,
very good.
Yep. So I've got a bunch of plants on my porch right now. Peppers, tomatoes, cucumbers, stuff like that. And I've got the same stuff in my garden, pepper, tomato, cucumbers. If you go and look at the plants in my garden, they're overwatered because we've gotten too much rain lately.
Oh, yeah.
And they just don't look as good as the stuff on my porch, which is almost 100% in the shade. My peppers and the tomatoes that are on my porch right now are so incredibly green, and they're bigger, and
why?
And they're in pots. I usually kill stuff in pots.
Right.
It's like the exact opposite. Like all my potted stuff looks way better than the stuff that's in the ground this year, which has never happened. So I'm guessing maybe shade.
Yeah, but
shade
this time of year?
Shade is the one difference, I know. Shade is the one difference, but then water is the big difference too.
Right.
The stuff that's under my porch has not been getting hit by the rain, and I've only been watering it like once a week.
Okay.
So it might be more water than shade.
Right.
But I think I am going to set up some shade for my cucumbers this year. So, because that is one thing that I usually grow in the full sun, and they do get wilty sometimes.
They do. They get hot.
Yeah, they get hot. So
July comes,
I'm going to try.
They're mostly done by then, aren't they? Cucumbers? I don't know.
It depends on how many pickle worms you got.
It depends on the year, the season. Yeah. I talked about seed starting and succession sowing last week as part of my routine. Like that's something I schedule into my week.
Right.
If I'm going to have, if I want produce coming out every week, then the same produce coming out every week, then I need to be starting more seeds every week.
Yes.
That's how I look at that. So I do that for a time, and then the same will go for harvesting eventually. Captain Jack's is a pest control that I like.
Yes. I think I used that a little bit last year too.
I think that there's a liquid one, like you could even buy like it's already
mixed
diluted,
mixed in the spray bottle.
It's expensive that way.
Yeah.
But some stores, that's the only one they carry for whatever reason. But I know I've ordered from Amazon. There's a dry one, a powdered one, and it comes with like a shaker cap. And I have really liked that, like a dusting. It's like a dust. It's like DE.
Speaking of dust, I totally forgot about this, and I have a half a bag of it. Last year was the first year that I ever tried that kaolin clay.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
I have some kaolin clay, too.
Yes. And so kaolin clay is kind of like, it covers all the bases. It helps keep bugs away. It helps keep fungus and bacteria away. It helps your plant retain moisture.
And it seems to like shade the foliage from the sun.
It does.
Yeah.
It does. It kind of stops the water evaporation. And I literally like sprayed my whole entire garden with it last year, multiple times. And it worked out really, really well. It just looked like it was snowing all the time though.
Yeah. So you mix it with water and then spray that and let it dry.
Which is really tricky. Like you got to mix it in a 5-gallon bucket first to make sure it's all dissolved. Right. I think I ruined like maybe 3 or 4 sprayers last year. Just
I did too because it was like clumpy. Yeah.
And you never get it cleaned out.
Right.
So that's kind of the downfall of that, but I'll do that again.
Yeah.
I had totally forgotten
I forgot about that too as we were preparing. Completely forgot, because last year was the first year I did it too. And I think maybe I did it because you did it and had success with it.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. It's exciting.
Yep.
To find something new that works and is all natural.
Yeah. It's all natural. It's literally just clay.
Right.
So it was a good addition to the arsenal.
Yeah. So, another thing that I have found to be difficult is keeping my tools in the right place.
Oh my gosh.
Like I have to like really talk myself into like, okay, Donna, this is what you're going to do.
Right.
You're going to have a place where you keep your tools, not out in the garden in the rain. Like they're going to go in your shed.
Yeah.
Or on your back porch or wherever where they're, not going to be weathered on. And you're going to use them and then you're going to put them back.
Right.
And then you're going to know where they are.
Theoretically.
All the time. Oh my gosh. Yeah. So, like to get myself all excited to do that. And I'm a natural type A personality. A lot of that has gone by the wayside in farming, but, yeah, I have like one of those bucket organizers.
Okay.
So it's like a sleeve of sorts that
Yes,
fits inside of a
inside
5-gallon
the
bucket.
bucket.
It has all the pockets on the outside.
Mm-hmm.
So it lives in my shed. It has all my little nifty hand tools that I use like 2 out of 10.
Right.
I don't use my fingers more than anything else. But like it has a knife. It has string. It has tomato clips.
Ooh, you could put zip ties in
It
there.
has zip ties. It has all the things that I might need.
My favorite farm tool.
I know, one of them. Yeah. And then inside of the bucket, I have like a couple of bags of, bone meal, blood meal, like those things that I might need to take out to the garden and put back in the shed.
Nice.
So
a one-stop garden organizer.
Yeah.
I need this in my life.
It's
because
fun.
my stuff is everywhere.
Like it makes it fun to have that stuff in its place.
Yeah.
That it sings to my heart, honestly.
And that's a huge time saver. I mean,
Right.
I can't tell you how much time I spend walking around,
Right.
Back and forth to the barn, back and forth to the house,
Yeah.
just looking for whatever it is
spade.
that I need.
My favorite spade. I can't function without that spade. Where's my spade? And
I walked around today for 20 minutes looking for a shovel and never found it.
yeah.
So
I also have, like for the big tools, like the long hand, not hand
Right.
tools, but like the regular size shovel or whatever,
Right.
I have a flat shovel, what's the other shovel? The spade kind of shovel.
The pointy one.
The pointy one, right. You don't even want to know what I call screwdrivers. But, the pointy one. I have like all of my stirrup hoe. I have all of those. They're lined up, leaned against the fence at the end of the garden. And maybe that's not the right place for them because the wooden handles are getting rained on. But they are where I need them, when I need them. And they're not all over my garden, in theory.
Right.
Because there are times where I'm like, oh crap, I have an appointment, I have to go, and drop what I'm doing right now and can't find the shovel tomorrow. But I try. I have a place for them now, and so that's where they go. That's where I know where to look for them, and my boys know. Don't mess with those.
Right. Those are mine.
Those are Mama's shovels.
I'm not sharing them.
They got their own. I'm about to paint them. That'd be a good, like paint a pink.
Oh, that's a good idea. Yeah, because, well, I don't know.
I don't feel like they would care. I had
Right.
purple tools one time, and I have no purple tools anymore.
Right, because our boys don't care.
They really don't.
They're like, whatever.
Right.
They're too manly.
They're too comfortable. All right. So I guess, what saves you time? We talked about like auto watering if you have to.
Yep.
Insect netting is a time saver. Choosing easier varieties, right? Those things that are native to your area.
Yeah. That are going to be more naturally pest resistant
Right.
because it's native to your area.
And acclimated to your space. We
Yep.
talked about saving seeds before for that reason. And then mulch. I feel like mulch is a time saver.
Yes.
Having
Mulch is a time saver.
It keeps your soil moist, keeps your plants watered and not drying out, and it keeps the weeds suppressed.
Yep. Absolutely.
Yeah. So that's all I got.
Yeah, so that's about it. I mean, hopefully we gave y'all some ideas, and hopefully you feel more encouraged to start a garden if you haven't started one already.
Yeah.
And if you have started one, hopefully it just makes you kind of feel not so overwhelmed.
Yeah.
Hopefully we didn't overwhelm you.
No, just be out there.
Yes.
Be out there. Find the time to be out there. You know, and we talked about Jenny talked about auto watering versus hand watering, and I'm the same way. I always go back to hand watering.
Go back to hand watering because, I mean, you can kind of multitask. You can weed while you water.
Yeah, but I also understand that I may not have the time to hand water because I have to go do this other thing today.
Yeah.
And so I have a sprinkler that I can turn on
yes,
and leave it on.
Because life happens.
Yeah.
You know, and you can't stop that from happening, so.
Right. I also know that I might have to deal with blight on my tomatoes at some point because I overwatered for a week. Or overhead watered, I should say.
Right.
For a week. But, you know, the plants got watered is the point. So do what you have to do to make it happen.
Be out there, be consistent.
Absolutely.
Yep.
So until next time.
Yes. Thank y'all for listening.
Bye.
Bye.